So here is the pivot data. So I'll go to the pivot data sheet. So if you go to pivot data sheet, you can see this is in the table design. Normally your data are not in table format. So normally what you will see, if I go to table design and I convert it into range, it is asking me, do you want to convert the table to a normal range? So normally your data will be like this. So what I would like to do before doing the pivot table, I'll have an Excel table. Why Excel table? Because as I give more input in the Excel table and as I refresh my Excel file, the pivot data automatically will change. For that, whenever you do that pivot table, it is better if you use pivot before doing pivot data. If you use pivot, if you use Excel table and then if you do pivot table. So always do an Excel table first, and based on that, create a pivot table. It is always very helpful. So let's do that. For creating pivot table, I will use a shortcut, Control T. So Control T means create table. Excel is asking me where is the table data. Excel is selecting A1 to 2420. It's selecting automatically, otherwise I could select it by manually. Then it is asking me whether my table has headers as well. Yes, my table has headers. The data at the top, you can see the order ID, order date, order quantity, ship mode, product container, order amount. These are my headers. If I don't click here as headers, then Excel will show me another header, column 1, column 2, column 3, but I don't want that. I want my table has a header. These are my headers. So I'll select my table as header. Most cases you will have that, and I'll select OK. So I'll get an Excel table. So from this Excel table, you can see, for example, if you select the total row, you'll be able to select the total calculation. You can select here average as well. You'll be able to get, for example, average, you'll get count, you'll get max, everything, standard deviation, variance, everything you'll find. I'll use sum. At this moment, I will not do any calculation here. Rather, I'll keep it as it was. I'll create a pivot table from here. So from this table, Excel table, I'll create a pivot table. So let's do that. So for pivot table, I'll select insert. So I'll select insert and then I'll select pivot table. So if I select pivot table, there will a dialog box come in. So it will ask you where you want your pivot table. What I normally do, I always keep my sheet where all my data are separate. So I'll do all these calculations, all this visualization in a separate sheet. That's why I'll click new worksheet. Alternatively, you could select existing worksheet and select a place. So here I'll do that. I'll do new worksheet. So if I click OK, so I have a new worksheet. So in this worksheet, I would like to see, for example, I'd like to see the mode of Excel table. So what is the mode of Excel table? So let's give ship mode and, for example, order amount. And I would like to see product container as well. What this pivot table is showing, that you have delivery truck. This is a ship mode, or there is shipping mode is express air or regular air. These are 3 shipping mode. And you have different product containers like jumbo box or medium box or you have small box. So once I do that, so after that, if you look at the, for example, my pivot table design and go to report layout, you see there are different forms. Show in compact form. Normally your pivot table is in compact form. This is the by default. You can change that default by going to options and settings. You can change that, but let's see first the report layout. So it is showing in compact form. Often the compact form is getting very difficult because you can see that shipping mode and then this one. So by showing this, if you want to do it on an outline form, if I show you that, I'll click report layout, then show in outline form. If I do that, you will see that the ship mode is in a different column and the product container is in another different column. So this is very helpful because you have 3 different columns. This column show you that the shipping mode, and this column is showing you the product container. So this is much better than compact form, but depending on your need, you will select a compact form or versus an outline form. Another form is there's a show in tabular form. If I select tabular form, it will show as sheet mode, and it will show as a tabular form. And what I need to do here, I need to click repeat all item labels. So if I do that, you can see that it looks like a table. And if I change the if I make the grand totals off for rows and column, and if I don't want any subtotals, just look at it. It looks like a normally designed table. So if any of your boss wants you from that, just give me the shipping mode and product container basis. I want that. How can you do this from your data that I have shown? Pivot table do it in minutes, in fact in less than minutes. So if you do this using like report layout, normally it was in compact form, then outline form, then tabular form. So here I have shown you 3 forms: compact form, outline form, and tabular form. In tabular form, if you repeat all labels, then it will show like this. So next, what I'll do, I'll show how to group data from pivot table. So let's do the grouping. So again, I will go to the pivot data first. So I'll go to pivot data. Again, it's in Excel format, is in Excel table format. And what I will do, I'll do a grouping. So grouping based on date or grouping based on order amount as well. So let's see the grouping based on the date first. So what I'll do, I'll create another pivot table. This time, what I will do, I will go to existing worksheet, and from existing worksheet, I will go to the sheet 1 where I have created one pivot table. So I'll go here and I'll tell my Excel to do this, say here. So in F column, it will start, and then I'll click OK. So you can see the pivot table number 2. I could name a pivot table, so you can name it also. So if you come here, you can see that pivot table field list. I want to see that field list, and what I will do, I want to see based on dates. So when I do that, it shows 2010, 2011, and 2012. Many of your workbook might see like this ungrouped. So you will see this way, like different dates, and I want different order amounts. So on date basis, I want order amount, but this is not a summarization. It just listing different dates, and on that date, how much sales has been done. So what I want to do, I want to group this date. How I can do that? I select, right click, and select group. If I select group, it show as month, but whenever you show as month, you also click year, because if I select the month like January, and if I have year 2012, 13, and 14, what it will do, it will sum all the months from 2012, from 2013, from 2014, all the January. But if I click years, it will show on a different year basis. So let's do that. You can see 2010, 2011, and 2012, and you have different January, February, and March, January, February to up to December. Another thing I can do, I can take this year to filters. Then you can see from filter, if I select 2010, then it will only show 2010. If I select 2011, it will only show 2011. But you can see by selecting 2010 and 2011 from this, a bit cumbersome. So how can I make it a lot easier? I can make it a lot easier by taking a slicer. So I'll go to design, I'll go to pivot table analyze. I'll go to pivot table analyze, and from here you can see insert slicer button. So if I click here, it is asking me which slicer I want. I want based on date. So if I want based, no, I want based on year, not date. I want based on years. So if I click years, the slicer will show me 2010, 2011, and 2012. So if I select 2010, select 2011, select 2012, it is changing. Another good thing I can do, I can include a pivot table. I could include a pivot chart based on that. So if I include a pivot chart, for example, I want a bar chart. So if I want a bar chart, and that chart will continuously change. Let me show you in a compact form. So right click, hide all fill buttons from chart. I don't need the chart header. I don't need this. I will only see the chart. So just see this. If you create a chart and select 2010, 2011, the chart gets automatically changed. So you want to know how much sales has been done in October 2010. You just select and you can see all the months. You can select 2011, you can select 2012. So based on your need, you can select different slicers as well. So this is how I grouped my data based on month and based on year. So based on month and based on year, I'm seeing my monthly sales. So this is very helpful when you want to report to your management committee, or you have certain budget function. So then you can show to your management committee like this is the past numbers and this is the futures may look like, or in the past we have sold this product but it did not sell well in the month of, for example, June or July. Maybe there is some seasonality, so you can look all this pattern in which month sales has been increased. So if you know for sure in the month of December your sales will increase, then you can take decision based on that. And so you can decide how much to produce and how much inventory to buy and so on. So these are the things will be very helpful based on grouping data based on dates. Another way we can group data, that is grouping data based on order amount as well. For example, you have different price point of products. If you see, for example, every year in the month of September, there is an announcement from Apple that they are coming up with a new iPhone. So when they come up with an iPhone, they bring a lot of iPhones, like say 11 Pro, then they bring 11, they bring then another basic form. And what they do, they take pre-order, and also what they take another, or they want to see which phones are being sold more. So when they see that a certain category of product are being selling more, so then they produce more and more of that product. So certain products are having a price range between, say, for example, 70,000 to 90,000, and certain products are having a price range of 90,000 to 110,000. So if you want to see from, you have different types of products and at which price point the number of quantity sold and number of amount are being sold most, then it will give a better picture. For example, if you sell more products from a high margin product, your company's profitability will increase. If you sell more products from a low margin product, your company's profitability will not increase the way you sell high margin products. So you want to see which products are being sold most. So let's see from our pivot data. We'll create another pivot table. Alternatively, what we could do, we can just copy this. We can just copy this pivot table. We can just copy this pivot table and say we paste here. This is another pivot table, and I'll select order amount on the row. So you can see, and order quantity. I want to see order quantity in sum of values. So you can see at 5 taka, there are 5 quantity products are being sold. So if you sell 5 quantity, at taka 5, so what will happen? Your total revenue will be 25. So let's take that revenue as well, the order amount. So you can see it's 25, the order amount. So like that, what we can do, so let's see the order quantity only to make it better. So I want to show you the row levels, but looking data in this way is not good because it doesn't give you any summary. So what we can do, I can right click here and group data. How I can group it? I want to see the starting value at 1 and ending value at here, and I want to see based on a price range of say 3,000. So it will be like a normal histogram type thing, normal frequency table type like thing, and then I can create a histogram on it. So you can see from 1 to 3,000, you are selling 49,373 quantity products. If you look at the higher price point, at higher price point, there is not much demand. So you can see only 67 products are being ordered at a price point 27,000 to 30,000. So this gives you a good picture, like which products are being in high demand and which products are being in low demand. And also from this pivot table, you could create a pivot chart. So that chart will show you a histogram, for example. So you can see that a chart like this will show you histogram. You can see that most of the products are, their demand are on the low price point. So you can categorize yourself a market leader in the low price product range, but at the high price product range, your demand is not that. For example, if you are a mobile handset producer, for example, if you are Apple, then obviously at high prices there will be a lot of quantity they sell. But in the other case, for example, Xiaomi, they sell a lot of low end prices products. So companies can define themselves at which price point they have more market and which price point they don't have more market. So that's how you can analyze based on this data crunching from pivot table. So far we have seen the outline, the grouping. Now I want to see the sorting and filtering as well. So, and this sorting and filtering within the pivot table. So for example, if I go to sort and filter, and you can see I have created a pivot table here. You can see I can create a pivot table here. So let's see a pivot table based on sales representative. So what I want to see based on my data are like this. I have different salespeople at different dates, at different months. They have sold different products at different regions, at different price, at different revenues. So I summarized it in the pivot table like based on sales representative. So I want to see which sales representative sold the most amount. Here you can see it is already sorted and filtered. I right click and I want to see I clear filter first, and you can see it is being sorted. It is already sorted. Normally if you do that, it will not be sorted. So how can I sort it? Right click here, sort largest to smallest. It is already largest to smallest. Say if I want to sort from smallest to largest, you will see that there are changes. So now I want to see which are the top 10 or 20 sales representative who brought most of the revenues in my company. So if you want to do a performance evaluation based on your lot of salespeople, you can do it. So first I want to sort. So if I want to sort based on largest to smallest, automatically first 20 are the top best. And also if I want to filter, from right click here, filter, I want to filter the top 10. I want to see top 20. So I type 20 here. And okay, so it will only show the top 20. I do not want to see my grand total, so I'll click grand total off. And at this point, I want to see not based on salespeople, I want to see based on region, which region my products are being sold. So I can see there are 4 regions: East, Midwest, South, and West. And these are not sorted. So if I sort from largest to smallest, so I can see the Midwest are the top selling region, then West, then South, and then east. And if I do on a product basis, for example, I do it on a product basis and I do this region here, so you can see there are a lot of products are being sold. So in different in different region, different products are being sold. So you can see in Midwest, Aspen, Belen. So I want to see my top 5 products. So I want to see top 5 products, top 5. Click OK. You will see your top 5 products that is being sold: Belen, Carolata, Doubler, Squad, and Sunshine, and in which regions it are being the products are being sold. So this is how I can do sorting and filter.